Okay, so now we're going to, as I'm ready to use this steel mace to show you how to release the pec minor and subscapularis muscle. If you own a steel mace, this is a 7-pound steel mace. You can find smaller or bigger one, but really for this purpose, you don't need anything heavy. If you were someone who used heavier weights or steel mace, we put some protective fabric at the bottom, just with an elastic around, so that it's gonna still grip to my floor, but because I am using a big mat, actually this is actually a big Gorilla mat from the brand Gorilla, works really well, this way it's not gonna cause any damage to the mat. So here I'm gonna work my left side. That's the area that I had my latest shoulder injury, with a frozen shoulders that I caught on time. Well, I should have, I was, but not enough for what I do. And as a result, it one thing led to the other. It froze on me one day, and I had to take action right away that day. So that's the ideal plan if you're having an issue with a joint that freezes on you. Well, freezes in quote, but that's pretty much what it does. You need to attend to it right away. If you know what to do on your own, go ahead, but usually you need someone to assist you for treatment, and then you do self-care. So obviously at the stage that it is frozen, there's limited amount of things you can do, since your arm might not even be able to go to here. It might be stuck here still. So then you work with your range of motion with your arm here. Yet, you know, even if I replicate, try like when I was with my frozen shoulder, I would think that I still would be able to work the pec minor, which is right in the front. So here, pec minor, basically, again, you know, like I was saying, you will put it more underneath and you push in toward me, so put toward you. That would get into pec minor. If you can't have your arm open like this, at, you know, 30 or so degrees out in extension, and you just have your arm here, then just put the ball of the mace right in the front, and then you kind of push in towards you, towards your center with your hand, your opposite hand. Now if you're uncomfortable with a knee like this, you could have both knees down. Actually, that works like that too. If this is too uncomfortable still, and I do have a mat, if your knee gets a bit sore, you could have a pillow underneath your knees, but being on your knees like this gives you the best stability and the best leverage for doing this exactly right now. So here, like I said, I have the steel mace on the side. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm using my opposite hand and just gently doing this movement with my hand, with my fingers, just to get into these tissues. So you go however much or not as you want or can. And you can even add to that where you go put your body into an angle where you're more, so you change a bit your position, you're more like this. So again, if you have bad knees, there's other option. You could do it standing, that still will work, but you actually can create more leverage. Well, me, the way, with my height and the length of this steel mace, oh, I'm not sure what the average steel mace is. This is about maybe 4'3" or so feet, over 3 feet, I would say. And I'm pushing into my pec, so I definitely feel it. It's obviously it's not excruciating pain that it probably would have been when I had my frozen shoulder, but I know I still have some residual issues with that. And unfortunately, to resolve those things completely, I basically have to rest for a long time, and not to do the repetitive stress I put my body into every day. So it's not always possible. So as a result, it's difficult to 100% heal from those things. But you can exercise as much as you can with this kind of exercise here, which is a trigger point release. So here I am in a position where one leg is in front of the other and my body is a little bit leaning into it. So I definitely can, as I'm just minute amount, I'm shifting my bodies in different direction. You kind of just go with a feel of it. So here, because I have the rubber onto the Mace and as well on the floor, it's microscopically, well, actually I can see it very minute amount moving away from me because I'm aiming down this way. Now here I just moved my hand away from here, so my body wants to go more into the ball. So now it's getting a bit more deeper, but I gave myself time to warm up. I even had warmed up a bit before I pushed the play button here, the recording button I mean. So you have to take time to do this thing. So here, make sure you hold it, and if you see that it's moving away too much from you, either have a wall behind, behind this, so it's not going to move away. If you're going to really go incline yourself and go like in this position, if you really want to put more force into the tissue, because this tissue is very tough, and then you open, that's a good way to stretch the fascia around as well. But again, you don't want to do a face plant, so get it in a locked position right here against the wall, but I would move the mat all the way to the wall so that it's not going to move in any direction. You don't want to hit yourself, or not hit, but slide and your chin touching this. That would not be a pretty picture. So take all those precautions for sure. Use your own judgment and just go very slow. Also, when you store a mace, you never stand it. Usually people will do that, but never keep it standing anywhere on the metal for sure. Put it all the way on the side or in a container you have for it, and always put it down flat like so. Never standing up. You probably know that if you are a steel mace practitioner or steel mace advocate who use such tools for different things. So here I go back to standing, and I'm still on my pec minor, but I'm more in the very front. Here I'm more in the front. Just go very slow. Remember that there are ribs underneath. So as long as you go slow and you don't do like a sudden pounding down onto hitting or dropping it, you will be fine with your ribs. But always use caution and work with your breath through breathing. Actually, the pec minor muscle assists in breathing. So doing all these movements of pulling back, extension, and also moving, and even in rotation you could even go. And then you can even add I'm kind of doing a side lunge here. That's another way if you don't want to do it on your knees. And you add the head turning away this way. Don't crank your head back. Just a nice stretch to the side, so you feel a stretch in here as you put pressure into that pec muscle from the outside, pushing in with your hand here and leaning gently your body into the ball, and bring your right ear to your right shoulder as you stretch the left pec, and bringing your arm back in extension, thumbs up. You can even bring thumbs down, see how that feels. It should feel okay. If you're in an early stage, you probably won't be able to do that, but just gauge what you can do and just work with what you have. And then here, you can go back this way, extension, flexion with thumbs up, And definitely pulls in there. And now shake it out. Now this side feels a lot looser, my shoulder in here. It might feel a bit bruised tomorrow to the touch. That's normal. Just you can massage the area. You can do a nice steamy shower. Epsom salt bath is great. With even you can add baking soda and upper side of vinegar. All of those combination of those three things will make it for a very detoxifying bath. Or just the Epsom salt is really great to add minerals through your pores and into your body. So now we're gonna work subscap. So subscap, I'm still working the same side. I'm just gonna focus on the one side. Basically what you would do, you repeat that to the other side. I always suggest that you work both sides just for maintenance and to prevent the other side that might not be an issue, to stay healthy and not become a frozen or any of those stages of frozen shoulder. Before it becomes frozen, there's a couple of more altogether stages that you need to be keeping in mind. So you have to work on it before it gets to that last stage where you basically can't do anything and you're in agony. Alrighty, so here I am going deep inside my armpit and pushing back because my subscapularis muscle, as the sketches and pictures and video clips that Wayne created can show you very, very well where those muscles are. So here I'm pushing down my body into the mace, in the ball of it, and I'm gonna use my hand and just push back and do the same with my body. I'm kind of turning a bit my shoulders, so basically it makes the ball push into the front of my shoulder blade. It's the front of my scapular, but from the front, anteriorly. The front here is anterior, the back is posterior, and then the sides are called lateral. So here we're pushing back. I'm assisting with my right hand to push back into my subscapularis. That's a very, very strong muscle. If you listen to the videos on shoulder that we just recently created, it is mentioned that the subscapular muscle, which is part of the sits muscle, is actually super, super strong. So to get to it, because it is deep inside the body, on the center and in the front of your shoulder blade muscle, scapular bone, it requires lots of focus and lots of power sometimes to get to it when it is so tight. So you take your time, you ease into it. Now my arm is open, obviously. If you can't do that right now, use only your thumb. If you can manage somehow to get that arm open and into here, get this ball into there and then slowly bring your arm back in. If you can manage it. And then, you know, if you are in a stage where it's so painful, you just do it for a short amount of time and take a break, go walk it out, move your arms slowly, whatever your mobility is and pain level and threshold is at the time, of course, but move. You can do some shoulder movement, circle, however, wherever, even if your circle is basically here, that's all you can do. Do that and then do that. Don't do too much, just do it a couple of times. If you're at that critical stage, if you're at a stage where you can move your arm up, it just catches, it still hurts a little bit, but you actually can move your arm, then you can do full shoulder movement back and you feel the stretch here from having manipulated those tissues with the ball. And obviously you would do the same thing with the other side. I have not used the ball of that mace on this side, but I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm just not gonna, I might do it here, but it's just gonna go fast speed right now because I do need to work the other side, so give me a moment. And there we go. Now we are working the pec muscle on this side, on my right side. So I would say I have my left foot in front as I'm working my right pec. Again, you can do the same thing. I didn't move my head when we did the left side with the subscapularis, but you could do the same. The head could be moved away as well. So here I'm working the pec with whatever range of motion I have. I stay here if that's all I can do. I stay here if that's all I can do. And I work with what I have, what my range of motion allows me to go with, and what my pain thresholds allow me to work with. You always want to challenge yourself a little bit, but this being said, everybody has different pain thresholds and different general overall flexibilities when you're in pain or not. So here I'm looking down, I'm supporting with this hand. Just, it's good for multiple reasons, to prevent, like I said earlier, to get this to slip. Either the bottom slips here if you didn't prepare it properly, or up here it slips, you get off balance. You don't want to hit your chin with this. This is not going to budge, it's not going to move, that's still. So here I'm going to add my arm and open my arm out to the side. I'm going to bring my head, bringing my left ear to my left shoulder. I don't want to bring my head back. Some people might be comfortable doing that, but I am not, so I'm not going to challenge to bring my head behind me. It's just going to go over to the side, and with my left arm I'm pushing into my pectoralis minor here, trying to stay on there, and then opening the shoulder back to give a nice stretch as I press with whatever comfort I am of pressure and pain to allow as I'm feeling. And I did earlier when I was on the left side, refer pattern into my the back, into my you know, generally speaking, I would say it's like terry muscles area. That area, it's kind of pulling in there around the shoulder blade and in the underarm too, in the armpit. So this is good stretching, very good. It's kind of painful, but it's really helpful. And I'm working my core at the same time a bit as I'm leaning my body down, and my legs here, keeping my legs nice and strong and planted down on the floor, and open back. You can even pull your belly slightly in just to keep your body strong and your core engaged, and pull back, and you bring the thumbs in and thumbs out. Just use all different directions, because I've said in the past in some videos, bringing your thumb down is not good. It's not good for generally for keeping a posture like this at rest. In the context of exercising, it's okay if you don't have pain. For movement, yet you have to be careful. Okay, and so I'm doing the same movement, but here with my arm just in front of me as opposed to back and out to the side and behind. You can have your arm here and do that. It's still gonna stretch, and you turn your head. So I'm basically bringing my left shoulder to my left ear, and then you can even be up here. So I'm a bit going off the spot here, but now I'm gonna go into my subscapularis. So basically I'm gonna go right like this, and I'm gonna pull back with this hand, my left hand, and I pull back, and then we'll see what we do. So you could have the mace now more in the front when you do this, since you're gonna go back. Having the mace more in front is gonna make it more stable, more safe, as opposed to having the mace in the side. So then Basically my left foot is right behind the Mace, and my other one is next in the front. So if I draw a line, it will make a 90 degree from my foot to the Mace to my foot. And then I'm pushing down into, actually I want to be a little bit off, it gives me a little bit more leverage. So it's the toes, the front of my foot, the toe is lining up with the ball behind me, or the bottom part of the steel mace, and my foot is so they do 90 degrees. Just play with it. You can even be again on the floor. I actually like it on the floor, just you might get a little bit sore on your knee from being in that position and pushing into the ball. You might end up starting to feel it. So then you can go 2 feet or go back on your feet if it's easier. So just kind of play with it and see what works for you. Again, everybody has different height, so based on your height and based on the length of the club, they're usually about the same, I think. You will need to access it a bit differently. So here I'm pushing back the Mace down or behind to get into that subscap. And open my arm out as I keep my left hand nice and sturdy next to my body at 90 degrees, so kind of around my chest in the front. So really I can't lose the steel mace if I'm grabbing the steel mace like this and I'm in this position with my feet. I can't really have any accident, so that is a safe place this way. And then push back. There we go, and release. And you're gonna, again, based on whatever your range of motion is, if you only can stay here, then do what you can. Don't overdo it. If you're really that restricted, don't overdo it. Just do a couple of motion back, couple of motion forward. Even use your body if you have to. If your shoulder doesn't want to move, use your body to move your shoulder. And then eventually, as you incorporate the different things with the bar, with the other videos, with the chin-up bars that I showed you with stretching, if you can reach this high. If you can't reach that high with the bar, what you can do, your chin-up bar, don't put it as high, have it here, and then eventually you're gonna bring it higher. So if you're that low as far as being able to raise your arm, you can just use then your arm, if that's really all you can do. Slowly bringing your arm up against the wall, and then eventually when you're able to be here, then you know, you can start using the chin-up bar, unless you have a chin-up bar that's adjustable or you don't mind re-anchoring it at different heights. So that's what I have right here to show you demonstration with the steel mace to get your pec minor. You can even massage it in a bit afterward if it feels a bit sore. Stretch it out, forward and back. Again, work with the range of motion you have. And the back crawl here. And stretch back. And hug. And stretch back. And hug. So keep a point in front of you. Try to have your eyes at about eye level. Keeping your neck nice and straight. Slight bend in your knee and open. And hug. Open, extend your arms back and extend your fingers back. And hug, flexion. And straight and back as far as you can. And forward and hug. And then go to the side, nice and deep breath in. And to the side. So there we go, a little bit of stretching. If you want to stretch your arms like this and get all kinds of movements to stretch, go watch my video, my cardio flossing video, not cardio flossing, yes, but my fun cardio dance, cardio funk. I have different videos like that. They use the arms and do all kinds of fun exercises. You can break it up where you just use the upper body. If you cannot combine the lower body with the movements that I'm doing, just do the upper body after you're doing this exercise with trigger point and trigger point with the mace. So you have a few more exercises to do. Watch my videos as well, as I can show you all kinds of fun ways to move your body and isolate your body. And I am so happy to have you with me today again. So I'll see you in another episode of Healthy Body by Sophie. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste. You did awesome.